On that chilly day in Snohomish County, Washington, back in 1979, a determined duck hunter embarked on his quest for a fruitful game. Little did he know that his day would take a spine-chilling turn. Instead of the expected quarry, he had stumbled upon human remains. Whose remains were those? Welcome to Daily Crime, where we explore a fascinating realm of crime and mystery. Join us on a thrilling journey as we delve into complex puzzles and uncover the secrets of the human psyche. Subscribe now to be part of the action. In a chilling scene near Everett, Washington, the police responded to a duck hunter's distressing accuracy. They discovered a fishing line entangled with 10 pairs of Farrakaki pants, a quarterback leather shoe, and a partially skeletonized human leg bone. Further guided by the hunter, they stumbled upon a fallen cedar log where a checkered shirt lay beside a human skull, ribs, and another shoe with a foot still inside. The officers found a leather wallet, but its contents were long gone. As they examined the evidence, seemingly insignificant details like shoe logos and clothing tags became vital in unraveling the mystery surrounding the anonymous man's fate. The coroner's office faced a challenging task of identifying an unidentified man whose records had been lost over time. Despite their efforts, the police couldn't identify him in the initial investigation in 1979, and he became known as John Doe 79-1. Decades passed, and the case grew cold with no leads. However, in 2008, Detective Jim Scharf and retired Judge Ken Kosert reopened the case, determined to find answers. They delved into old archives, desperate to piece together the man's identity. In 2015, they exhumed his body, hoping that dental records would provide some leads. Sadly, their efforts yielded no promising results. In August 2015, the case of a missing person was uploaded to the NamUs database, but no leads emerged. Determined detectives left no stone unturned in their quest for the truth, re-examining evidence like the man's clothing and belongings. The Snohomish County sheriffs appealed to residents for any information. Finally, in late 2015, a breakthrough occurred when a tip matched the description of a missing farmhand named Spencer Allen John Doe. He ran a fruit stand, was known to be a perpetual drunk, and disappeared in the late 1970s. Despite promising tips, the detectives faced setbacks, including discovering his tombstone in Yuma, Arizona. However, in April 2016, a forensic anthropologist provided key characteristics, leading the police to focus on missing persons of tribal heritage. The initial findings of the investigation indicated no signs of trauma around the time of death. It seemed that only old injuries had healed, with no new ones. However, when medical examiners scrutinized the bones, a ghastly truth emerged. The left femur bone was shattered and left untreated, causing excruciating pain and an unsteady gait. Further investigation revealed a potential condition called temporomandibular joint syndrome, affecting the jaw. The family's reactions to these discoveries were profound. It became evident that he had endured silent suffering for years, as his injured femur had never received medical attention. A bone examination, aided by an X-ray, unveiled the protruding middle third portion resembling the claw of an ice scraper, confirming his experience of chronic pain beyond doubt. Jane Jorgensen, an investigator at the medical examiner's office, found herself consumed by the enigma at hand. The absence of answers left her bewildered. Even if the man had been destitute, logic dictated that he would have sought immediate care at an emergency room upon experiencing such distress. They wouldn't have turned him away, not when medical aid was readily available without cost. So why did this individual endure unimaginable agony? Standing 2 inches shorter on his left leg, Spencer Island, John Doe's femur, presented yet another mystifying piece to this intricate puzzle. As the investigation progressed, more disquieting details surfaced. Examination of exhumed remains revealed that he had been missing 2 anterior top teeth and 2 molars on the left side. The sockets had properly healed, indicating he had lost them before his untimely demise. If he had sought dental treatment, why would he neglect urgent attention for his ailing leg? Eventually, they reached a tentative conclusion. Perhaps in his childhood or teenage years, under the watchful eyes of his parents, he had received dental care. However, as he grew older, he seemed to forsake his overall well-being. What compelled him to endure pain and disregard his healthcare needs in his later years remained an unanswered riddle. Then, a sudden realization struck the officers like a jolt of electricity. Prisoners, they realized, were eligible for free dental treatment. Could it be that Spencer Allen John Doe had once been incarcerated? Yet, this notion seemed partially absurd, for if that were the case, surely someone would have recognized him by now. His limp, the distinct gap in his smile, and his broken teeth would have made him memorable. The question lingered, fraught with uncertainty, waiting desperately to be resolved. In the gripping pursuit of truth, the investigators understood that even the tiniest details held the potential to unlock the mysteries surrounding the case. Gathered at the sheriff's office, Detective Jorgensen and Officer Sharp engaged in a crucial discussion with retired Judge Kenneth Cousert and former parole supervisor Chuck Wright. As they delved into various theories, the challenging of determining the cause of death intensified due to the state of the remains. Among the multiple theories that emerged, one intriguing possibility suggested that the nameless man had been a fisherman, which could explain his injury and lack of medical attention. It even raised the chilling prospect that he perished at sea, his lifeless body eventually washing ashore. Perhaps sailor companions gave him a burial at sea, and over time, the river currents carried his remains to the tide flats west of the railroad bridge along State Road 529, where the convergence of Steamboat and Union Slows occurred. While the Snohomish County sheriffs contemplated the accidental drowning theory, with the man's body sinking into the mud, their pursuit of answers seemed to lead to countless dead ends. However, their unwavering determination refused to waver. In a last-ditch effort to solve the enigma, they turned to the world of forensic art. In April 2016, skilled forensic artist Natalie Murray embarked on the task of reconstructing the man's face using rubber pegs and his weathered skull as her guide. Though time had blurred the sharpness of his features, Natalie discerned telltale signs of Asian heritage in his flat cheeks and narrow nasal passage. While the evidence presented challenges, she remained undeterred, extrapolating his lower jaw and imagining other features. Leveraging her expertise, Natalie created a sketch that held the promise of a breakthrough in this perplexing case. Dr. Kathy Taylor, a forensic anthropologist, examined a sketch and determined that the person depicted was of mixed Native American and Caucasian heritage. In 2018, a portion of the right femur was sent to the University of North Texas for DNA extraction to update the FBI's CODIS database. By March 2019, the mtDNA and STR profiles were processed using enriched DNA. A retired police officer claimed to have seen the man in the 1970s who resembled the sketch. Despite these leads, the person's identity remained unknown. In 2021, another piece of the femur was sent to Othram Labs, a forensic genealogy company, and with funding from DNAPsalms.com, forensic-grade genome sequencing was successful. A match was found in a public genetic database, and after building family trees, the identity of Spencer Island John Doe was revealed as Gary Lee Haynie. Finally, after 44 years, the mystery was solved on February 10, 2023. Dr. Kathy Taylor, a forensic anthropologist, examined a sketch and confirmed it represented a person who was half Native American and half Caucasian. In 2018, a portion of the right femur was sent to the University of North Texas for DNA extraction and updating the FBI's database. By March 2019, the mtDNA and STR profiles were processed. A retired police officer claimed to have seen a man resembling the sketch in the 1970s. Despite this information, the person's identity remained unknown. Investigators ruled out multiple missing persons using various methods, including DNA testing and dental records. Realizing they needed a new approach, detectives sent another piece of the femur to Othram Labs in Texas, a private forensic genealogy company. Funding for this initiative came from DNAPsalms.com, an advocacy group supporting DNA testing. Months later, a successful genome sequencing produced enough enriched DNA to create a profile. Using a public genetic database, the police found a close match and built family trees, eventually leading them to Gary Lee Haynie. They confirmed the identity by comparing his DNA with that of his surviving half-sister. After 44 years, Dr. Matt Lacey, the Snohomish County medical examiner, finally identified the John Doe. Gary Joseph Condemity was born in 1950 in Topeka, Kansas. His parents divorced and his mother remarried a military man named Sheldon Lee Haynie. They traveled together, and Gary developed a love for piano and the Beatles. However, Gary showed signs of a mental disorder, possibly autism or schizophrenia. He drifted away from his extended family due to frequent moves and eventually disappeared. Raised by his stepfather, Gary was declared dead in 1976, but his body was found on Spencer Island 3 years later. His extended family knew little about his life or death, leaving investigators puzzled by the mystery. In retirement, Sheldon earned the nickname Snowbird due to his winter lifestyle. He would spend those seasons in Baja California, Mexico, after embarking on a drive there in the mid-1980s. During this time, he visited his nephew Thane in Texas, but oddly enough, their conversations never touched upon Gary, Sheldon's son. The revelation that Sheldon never filed a missing persons report for Gary raised suspicions and led to a cascade of new questions. Was Sheldon involved in Gary's disappearance, or was there something else going on? As detectives delved deeper into the investigation, they uncovered a web of secrets and lies, unearthing the tragic and difficult life that Gary had endured. Even though the family had scattered across the country, Hal Haynie, one of Sheldon's relatives, expressed a desire to honor Gary's memory. However, the family's lack of presence in the area left Gary's grave nameless and lonely for 44 years. Gary Lee Haynie remained a mystery even after his identification, provoking numerous unanswered questions and fueling a sense of hope that someone out there holds the missing piece of the puzzle, shedding light on his enigmatic disappearance and untimely death. That's a wrap. We hope you've had a great time immersing yourself in mysteries, understanding criminals' minds, and untangling intricate deceptions with us. If you crave more heart-racing investigations, mind-bending true crime tales, and captivating analysis, subscribe now. Stay tuned for our upcoming episodes by clicking the notification bell. See you in the next one. Thanks for watching.